In this screencast, I'm going to show you how to use conditional statements. These are statements where some action is performed if some condition is met, or perhaps a different action is performed if the condition is not met. So here's a simple MATLAB script. Note I have this if statement followed by a condition that I would like to test. So here I'm testing whether the variable correct has the value 1. Now this is followed by a line, this fprint line, and this is a statement that should be executed if this condition is met. So if correct equals the value 1, then I will print to the screen the answer is correct. Note this end statement here, and this end statement is used to tell MATLAB which statements should be executed, because all statements between the if statement and the end statement, those are the statements that should be executed if the condition is met. So if I run this simple code, let me clear the screen, then in this case I will print the answer is correct because I'm initializing correct to 1 and this condition is met, so I'm executing this line. So suppose if I initialize correct to 0, now I'm actually not printing anything to the screen. Let's go to a second example. Now we use the else statement. So we have the same two lines as before. We test if the value correct equals 1, then do this action. But you're going to use the else statement to perform an alternative action if the condition is not met. So in this case, we're printing to the screen the answer is incorrect. So suppose I initialize correct to the value 0 and I run this code. And now what comes to the screen is the answer is incorrect because I'm executing this particular statement. Now moving to the third example, we can create a whole sequence of tests and perform different actions depending on which condition is met. So in this example, I'm using the problem of converting percentage scores to letter grades. And this part of text here, these are just comments. This is just a way to indicate to myself what the correct conversion should be. And note this percent sign, this is basically text that MATLAB will ignore. It will not run this code. These are just comments that are basically used to provide information to myself. So in this code, I have this variable p-score, and if p-score is bigger or equal to 90, then I assign a grade of A. And notice this different syntax here, else if. So now I'm testing a different condition, and I'm only testing this condition if the first condition is not met. So if p-score is not bigger or equal to 90, then I'm testing this condition. Else if p-score is bigger than or equal to 80, then grade equals B. Else if p-score is bigger or equal to 70, then grade equals C, etc. So if I'm executing this code, let me clear the screen, and I initially use the b-score value of 60, I'm running this code. Now the grade will be D, and I'm printing to the screen grade equals D. And why is that? Well, let's actually debug the code. So I'm setting this breakpoint so that the execution stops at this line. I'm running it. So note again this green arrow indicates where MATLAB is currently at in terms of execution. And I'm stepping through the code. So I've assigned p-score to the value of 60. I'm performing this test when I now step over this line. And this condition is not met, so I'm going to test the second condition. That condition is not met. So I'm stepping through, and now note that I'm now stepping into this statement where I assign the grade to D. Why? Because p-score is now indeed bigger or equal to 60. So you can use the debugger to test if your if-then statement is correct. Now here's a different example where I would like to convert a letter grade to a Boolean truth value, passed or not passed. So the goal is to convert the letter grades A, B, and C to the past truth value being true, and otherwise past equals false. So here's one way to do this conversion, where I test if the grade equals A, then past equals true. If it's B, then it's also true. If it's C, if it's also true. And this is certainly correct code, so I can run this code. So suppose I start with grade equals F, and now we see that past has the value 0. That's also another way for MATLAB to say that the truth value is false. And why is that? Well, because it goes through the sequence of tests and it ends up at this statement where past is assigned to the value false. Now this is, again, this is syntactically correct, but it's a bit tedious the way it's set up. Here's a better way to set it up by using a number of conditions that can be tested in one line. So here I'm using a logical expression that tests whether grade equals A, or grade equals B, or grade equals C. If either of these cases is true, then I assign past to the value true, or else if grade equals D or grade equals F, then I assign past to the value false. So this is a more convenient way to do this conversion. Now, generally, you can use a number of logical operators to combine the truth value of different conditions. So I just discussed this case of having a condition A or a condition B, right? So here it is MATLAB's way to use the OR statement. So this whole statement is true if A or B is true. I can also use the double ampersand, and this is true if A and B are both true. I can also use a single test and use this negation operator. So this is true if A is false. So you can negate the truth value of a variable. Now, you can use these logical expressions in various combinations to set up complicated tests. So this is a bit of an abstract example where I test if x is bigger than 5 and x is smaller than 9. If that is true, then this expression is true because I'm testing on the left-hand side this AND statement. This is true and that is true. Or on the right-hand side, if y equals bigger than 20. So the result of this is that if this whole thing on the left-hand side is true, or this thing on the right-hand side is true, then I'm passing the overall test and I'm executing this line. So in this particular case, let's run this example. I assign x to the value 10, y to the value 20. And I'm not going into this line here. Why? Because I'm not passing this test over here, and I'm not passing this test either. So overall, this whole statement is false. But let's see if I use y equals 21, and I assign x to the value 8. And now I'm running this again. And now this whole statement is true. In fact, both the left-hand side is now true as well as the right-hand side. So this is a bit of an abstract example. The point is that you can test for a combination of different conditions combined by different logical operators, like the OR operator and the AND operator, and you can use negation as well.